My name is Osvaldo Rosario, and I'm a Master in Social Work student here at Hawaii Pacific University. Today, I will share with you guys a systematically review that I conducted while my time here on teenager substance abuse and family interventions. As we already know, the issues of adolescent substance abuse continues to impact communities across the U.S. It is critical to explore the effective interventions for preventing and controlling the drug use amongst the teenagers. This SLR presentation aims to provide an overview of the latest research on intervention methods in this area. Some of those are including school-based interventions, family interventions, community-based interventions, some of the digital platforms that are out there right now, some of the provisions of incentives, and the policy-based interventions that we currently have in place. Through these presentations, I hope to shed some of the light on some of the most effective strategies for reducing teenage substance abuse and encourage future research in this very, very important field. I conducted a systematic review of 20 articles to examine the available intervention methods and their effectiveness in preventing and controlling substance abuse amongst the teenagers in the U.S. today. This study focused on evaluating the school-based, the family, community, the digital platforms, provisions of incentives, and the policy-based interventions that we currently have in place. While selecting these, I also identified some limitations in assisted interventions, such as limited to the effectiveness with students who have already started smoking, and the need for more of the national integrations of diverse intervention strategies. While going through these, I went ahead and put some of the parameters that focus on teenagers between the ages of 11 and 19 years old. And I used some of those keywords to select relevant publications. As you can see, the first result without the inclusions was 3,336,658 results. As displayed in this slide, these are some of the keywords that we'll go ahead and use to go ahead and reduce the amount of publications that were being shown on the previous slide. As you can see, some of the ones that we used on here require a lot of the ors or a lot of the ands. I get to illustrate the flowchart of actually my thought process while selecting the articles. As you can see, some of the keywords that was going ahead and used and some of the results that came from it. Right? Out of the total number of records and the articles identified across the 21 databases that I used, I was able to go ahead and minimize it to 30 on the full that had full text review. After that, I went ahead and I put some more exclusions into it, and I was able to lower it down to 20 articles because they happen to be between the timeline of 2013 to 2022, which makes it more relevant data than having something that is way past the last decade. Through these articles, we get to illustrate a little bit of where everything came from. As you can see, the biggest chunk that has been illustrated through the whole United States, it comes from community-based interventions. Only a small 13% actually comes from three of these areas right here, which are incentive provisions, digital platform, and the integrated interventions, right? As we already know, there's a lot of family-based intervention, but nothing near compares to our community-based counterparts, right? And very, very, very small of the school-based intervention, which is something that we have hoped to go ahead and increase. When we're analyzing this, we went ahead and had a study that covered the ranges, including also some of the CBT, or cognitive behavioral therapy, some of the family therapy, and the motivation interviewing. We realized that some of those actually brought some great information to our study. Our analysis showed that several interventions were effective in reducing the substance use amongst teenagers. The study found that the school and the family interventions were effective in preventing and controlling adolescent substance use, while policy-based interventions and provisions of incentives showed no impact. The effectiveness of digital platform is yet to be supported by sufficient evidence. The study also highlighted the need for further research on the intervention delivery, including the most effective strategies for reaching adolescents and engaging them in treatment. While cognitive behavioral therapy and motivational interviewing were particularly effective in addressing substance use and related issues such as depression and anxiety, family therapy and multidimensional family therapy were also effective in reducing the substance use and improving the family relationships. Community-based interventions can significantly reduce the drug use amongst youth, but combining family and school-based interventions may increase the effectiveness, right? Multi-phase approach needed to prevent juvenile drug addiction. Major limitations of the study is the lack of national integrations of diverse intervention strategies. The study scope fails to explain how family interventions can help adolescents who were already smokers or drug users reduce their smoking or their substance use, limited by its primary focus of preventing rather than treating the substance dependencies. Some of the implications of this study, all right, is hopefully to use this to inform the practice and help develop some effective intervention programs for the youth you work with, right? Understanding successful intervention techniques can assist in creating effective programs, and some of these effective programs can lower teen substance misuse and mitigate the detrimental effects. Research is examined to how overcome the challenges associated with community-based interventions. I will also put out there to find better ways to improve the effectiveness of family intervention, especially among high-risk populations, and how to use those to be combined. In conclusion, the studies found out that school-based and family interventions were effective, right? However, policy-based interventions and provisional of incentives had no impact at all. The effectiveness of digital platforms, as discussed before, has no evidence on it. So continued support of the interventions are essential to reinforce beneficial habits and prevent relapse. Each of the four methods presented in the literature has strengths and limitations which can be combined to achieve better results.